In this video, I'm going to walk you through my new morning routine that gives me a lot of energy, focus, and mental clarity first thing in the morning and sets my day right. And by the end of the video, you will know exactly what you need to do to create your own high-performance morning routine. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the video. Some entrepreneurs love it, some entrepreneurs hate it, and I always was the person that loved morning routines. And over the course of a couple of years, my morning routines changed. And the routine that I have right now is by far the most efficient and the shortest I ever had, and it's giving me the best ROI on my time in the morning. The best thing about this routine that I have right now is that it's very efficient, and it usually takes me anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to get it done, which is actually the point. And I'm going to go through all of that in a second, but that's the whole point of morning routine. You don't want to be wasting your energy, mental clarity, and willpower on things that don't matter. Because the whole point for you as an entrepreneur is to make sure that you have high energy first thing in the morning so you can work on important tasks and tasks that move the needle forward in your business. So that's the whole point of having a morning routine. So here's my morning routine. So I wake up at 6, I hydrate, I go for a quick 5-minute run and get some sunlight as I'm doing so. Then I take a cold shower, I do a quick priming, which I'm going to explain later, and at 6:30 a.m. I start my deep work block. So let's discuss why 1 to 2 hour morning routines are actually very inefficient and why all of those gurus on YouTube and social media that claim that they have this 2 or 3 hour morning routine, they claim that this is making them more productive, they're actually wrong. So my morning routine used to be 1 to 2 hours long, so I'm not an exception to this. I went through a lot of morning routines throughout 5 to 6 years at this point, and they were always very long. One thing that I've noticed after a couple of years is that my long morning routines were making me really tired because I used to wake up and read a lot for 30 to 60 minutes, and then after I was done doing that, I felt like I'm very tired, and I was also feeling very demotivated to actually work on the task that was the most important. And at that time, when I was growing my first business, which was my agency, when I was practicing all of these things, it was doing the things that I actually hated and I didn't enjoy. So after going through this long morning routine and depleting my energy and mental clarity, I couldn't really get it done, and I was really slow and I procrastinated at times. So yeah, it was just not a good experience, and it was really nice to have because I love reading books and I read books every day, and it's just something that I really enjoy. And having that first thing in the morning, it felt like it set my day right, but it actually didn't really. I didn't have the mental clarity needed for the tasks that I was supposed to be doing. Here is why my current morning routine is working for me the best, and I have these 3 reasons right here. So reason number 1 is because I wake up before an alarm. That's the biggest thing. I don't feel tired in the morning and I feel very rested because I prime my body to wake up naturally whenever the body is ready to wake up, right? So that's really important. I used to have my phone alarm and I used to, wake up very early. And I always woke up in the middle of my REM sleep, which was the worst thing that can possibly happen, because even if you sleep 9 hours a night and you wake up during a REM sleep because of your phone alarm, then you're going to feel like you slept for 1 hour that night, which is actually what you don't want to do. And the reason why I can wake up early without any alarm or slightly before my alarm is because I optimize my circadian rhythm, which I'm going to show you how as we go with the video. But next thing is that I wake up and I go to sleep according to my chronotype. And this is very important also to remember. And lastly, I do a quick set of activities that prime my body and my brain for success each morning. So let's talk about a chronotype and syncing your circadian rhythm. So if you don't know what chronotype is essentially a genetic makeup of your DNA. We can actually see when your biological clock prefers to do different types of things and activities during your day, like for example, working, exercising, eating, socializing, and certain chronotypes like doing activities in different times of the day. And this is all determined by your PER3 gene. I'm not going to go deeper into this in this video, but I will record a separate video just about chronotypes and what the PER3 gene actually is and how you can leverage this information. A mistake I made in the past, and what many entrepreneurs do, is that I was waking up just to look cool on social media, that I wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. But I was actually working against my body instead of with it, and that resulted in me feeling super tired in the morning and actually not getting anything out of my morning routine and my workday in general. So at one point in my life, I was waking up at 3 a.m. for a whole year, but that wasn't because I wanted, to look cool on social media. It was because I was still in high school and I was growing my first business, and I had to tackle all of these things when it comes to school, business, and gym, and learning and all of that, as well as like a part-time job. I was helping a group of people in my local town, start their agency. So I was just doing some part-time work there as well. So it was a lot to handle. And from what I've learned about myself is that, and what essentially I'm teaching you in this video, is that in the morning you have the highest clarity and energy to do things. So that's why I needed to find time in my day to work on my business when I had the highest energy, willpower, as well as mental clarity. And that for me was 3 a.m. back in the day. But I'm not doing that anymore. And I stopped when COVID hit because, the schools were closed and I had more time in my day. So then I shifted to a normal schedule according to my chronotype, because that's when I actually learned about this in the first place. After I identify what my chronotype is, I started to follow it. And for me, my chronotype is bear, which is 55% of population anyway. And I started to follow the rules, quote unquote, for the chronotype. So the exact time I should be waking up, the exact time I should go to bed, as well as exercise, eat, and work, and what type of work I should do when, based on my chronotype. And all of a sudden, after a couple of days and weeks of adjusting, my body felt amazing, and I had more energy, mental clarity, and my whole morning routine transformed, as well as how I was sleeping and how I was performing for that day and every day that followed. And when it comes to your circadian rhythm, which is actually a big part to the chronotype and a whole morning routine and you feeling amazing, and essentially everything that we're talking about in this video, is that if you don't know, circadian rhythm is your internal 24-hour body clock. If your circadian rhythm is all over the place and you're confusing your body by giving it mixed signals, what I mean by that is that you wake up at different times, you go to sleep at different times, and you have a lot of blue light in the evening, and you cannot really have good night's sleep, and all of that. If you're confusing your body and your body doesn't know when to produce the essential hormones, such as, for example, melatonin in the evening and cortisol in the morning, then you're going to feel very tired and you will never get the most out of your morning routine and your whole day that follows, right? So what's important here is that cortisol is a very key hormone in here, and cortisol actually helps you become more awake as well as alert. If you snooze your alarm clock and you confuse your body and you give your body mixed signals by snoozing your alarm, your body will think that it's actually not the time to wake up, and your body temperature will rise, as well as your cortisol levels will rise, so your body's ready to wake up. But by you snoozing the button, you're completely reversing the whole process, and you're absolutely confusing your body. So what will happen then is that you'll slightly go and fall asleep, and then you wake up in the next 10 minutes, and it's just like you will feel so fatigued that it will be very difficult for you to even get out of bed. I'm not even talking about getting through your morning routine and working on your business. So make sure that you don't snooze your alarm clock. So here is how you can kickstart your circadian rhythm. So the best way to reset and kickstart your circadian rhythm was for me to wake up based on my chronotype, as well as to go to sleep based on my chronotype. When it comes to my morning routine and how I use that to kickstart my circadian rhythm, is that I got outside as fast as I could and got some sunlight in first thing in the morning, as well as some movement. I used to go for a walk, but then I switched it to a quick run. So my recommendation for you, if you want to kickstart your circadian rhythm, you can do either walk or a quick run, for example, and then right after that, what I'm doing right now is cold exposure, and when I did back in the day when I wanted to kickstart my circadian rhythm. Now, sunlight helps your system to wake up, and it signals to your body that it's time to get going. When it comes to movement and cold exposure, it essentially helps your body to increase your cortisol levels, which actually helps you stay more alert, awake, and helps you get through the morning. Now, you don't have to do movement and cold exposure. I do it because I enjoy it, and there are a lot of benefits for both, and I really feel good in the morning. But you can just pick movement or cold exposure, because the key is not to do all of those habits just for the sake of doing those habits. For you, it's just to pick one of these two things, or you can do them both to really kickstart your day and increase your cortisol levels, so you can reset and kickstart your circadian rhythm and essentially have more energy during the day and feel really ready for your work ahead. So the more you do these things and these activities, the more you retrain your body, and then your internal clocks will know when it's time to do what, and it will come to you automatically. You don't have to force anything, and all of a sudden your body will become like this automatic machine where you'll wake up energized. You don't even have to think about it. So that was my morning routine and what I'm doing right now and all the reasons why. Now I want to share something interesting with you, an experiment that I'm doing, which is actually contradicts everything that I've just said. And it's completely different from everything that I've just mentioned. It's actually not having any routine whatsoever and waking up and within 60 to 90 minutes immediately going into my desk and working on my most important task of the day. Okay, now it looks sketchy, it looks weird, and I felt like that at the beginning. I thought like, what is this? Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? But I started to research this subject, and I started to research what is actually happening in your system, in your brain, in your body when you do that. And it all comes down to your flow state and how you can actually leverage your brain waves. So going from brain waves of sleep to alertness, and how you can leverage that to get in the flow actually allows you to maximize your productivity early on. And then after you are done with that work for 90 minutes, you can do all of that stuff that is in your morning routine, which I'm actually doing right now. So it's only day 2, actually day 3 as I'm recording this video. But so far I feel amazing. You know, I wake up at 6, I immediately get to my desk, I set the timer for 90 minutes, and I start working. And after those 90 minutes, I go outside for a quick run, cold exposure. Then I come back and drink my first cup of coffee, and I continue with the work, and I just feel really, really good. So if that's something that interests you as well, you can give it a go and see for yourself, because I've seen all of those research papers. I've seen the research that people have conducted about this topic. And I was like, the only way I can actually see if this works is if I try it for myself. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what you can do as well. And you can actually see if having a morning routine or not having a morning routine and switching things up, if that works for you or not. So here's a conclusion and how you can leverage everything that I've just mentioned for yourself, so you can create a very good and perfect even morning routine, or not, if you prefer to do the experiment that I just mentioned, right? But if you do want to have a morning routine, here are some keys. So number 1, understand what chronotype you are and craft your wake up times based on that. So I will leave you with a link down below. It's a test you can do online, and you will actually find out what the chronotype you are. So make sure that you click the link in the description, and you can do your test and find out what one of those 4 chronotypes you are. Number 2, don't snooze the alarm in the morning, and preferably don't have any alarm clock if it's possible for you to do that. If you need to have some sort of alarm clock, then buy yourself a light alarm, which essentially you can use like LED lights that will automatically wake you up, and they based on the timer that you set. Or you can buy a night lamp that will automatically wake you 30 minutes before you should be up. So that's also a good solution. And number 3, incorporate some activities that I mentioned in this video for your body and your mind to prime yourself for success. So for example, quick run or walk, sun exposure, cold exposure, could be cold shower for 3 minutes, or an ice bath. We can do a quick visualization of the day, as well as quick read of your goals. And these 2 things, actually, the visualization and rereading my goals, that's actually the priming thing that I mentioned in the beginning. This is how I prime my brain and my mindset for a successful day ahead, by simply visualizing myself, how I'm going to approach every single task throughout the day, how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to think, how I'm going to behave, as well as my goals and what do I want to achieve, and visualizing and acting as if I'm already where I want to be. So yeah, that's everything for this video. If you liked it, let me know in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.